Hello and welcome. Before you set a goal for 2026, I want you to do something different with me today. I want you to dream. I want you to think about and walk through an exercise with me about dreaming about what 2026 is going to be on your terms. So, this is our last part in the 5-part Reflect, Choose, and Celebrate challenge to really end 2025 and move into 2026 with just energy and positive reflection and really picking the things that are most important for you. And so today is day 5 or week 5 of this challenge. So week 1, we looked at what we were going to do in December to finish 2025 strong. We looked at in week 2, we looked at we reflected back on 2025 and looked at what we want to keep, what we want to get rid of, what we want to stop doing, what we want to amplify, and what we want to maintain. Lots of really good information in there. So if you haven't seen those, you can go back and watch them in the playlist, which you can click on in the comments. Then last week, that was week 1, week 2, week 3, we talked about who we wanted to be, not who we should be, not what everybody's telling us we should be, but who we want to be. And sorry, I'm looking over the edge. I have my camera covered because in this app, when you're on it by yourself, I've learned your eyes just don't make any sense. So I can't see myself and I'm like, oh, what's going on there? Anyways, in week 3, we looked at who do you want to be? Like, who do you want to be? And we talked about the be, do, have model or the have, do, be model. And when you start with being who you want to be, not who someone else tells you want to be, but who you want to be, that's where the power in your business will transform. And then last week, we really had a quick one because it was a holiday week, as is we're in the in-between week right now. We talked about what motivates you. And it's such an important thing to connect with what motivates you. What are your motivating factors? And knowing them and knowing your top 2 to 3 motivating factors can really help you set yourself up for success. And as I shared in that video, I am very motivated by external accountability. So when I put it out there to someone, even in this type of form, where I say I'm going to do something, I am much more likely to complete it and to complete it with energy than if I'm just writing it down for myself. That's just one motivating factor. I'm motivated by my clients. I'm motivated by a bunch of things, but really think about and go back and watch your motivating factor. I talk about 9 different ones in that one. But today I want to take you through an exercise that I have been doing years. I can't remember when I did my first one. I think it was before 2019. As a challenge, I chose not to do the challenge this year. It was just something I wanted to leave behind, which I like. It's not that it won't come back again. It's just something that needed a break, but I wanted to do it in this way instead. And so this is about really stepping into 2026. So first of all, in the final hours of 2025, thank it. It has been a tough year for a lot of people. It's been an unpredictable year. There's been so many changes going on politically, economically, and even with how things work in the online world with AI becoming such a predominant thing. So it has been a year of kind of turmoil and change and unpredictableness that's carrying into 2026. And that's okay, because that's where we are at. But we have to kind of figure out what that means for our business. So first of all, reflect on that. What I want to do right now is a really simple exercise. You can, listen to it, come back to it, however you wish to do, which is to say, first of all, I want to talk about what success means to you and what it looks like at the end of 2026. And I want to acknowledge that success is different for everyone. It doesn't have to be. If success for you is making $1,500 a month because that augments your income, then that is fantastic. If success for you is making $30,000 a month, then that's fantastic. It is different for everybody because we are different. We are in different times of our life. We are doing things. And yes, they're all accomplishable, but you need to find success for you. So I want you to lean into knowing there's no pressure here, that this is different for everyone and this is specific for you. And so I want you to think about, it's December 31st, 2026. So it's a year from now. You're sitting by a nice warm fire with a hot cocoa or a buttered rum or something nice and warm, or you're sitting on the beach with a cocktail celebrating, and you're just reflecting back on what you've accomplished in 2026. And I want you to really dream. I want you to celebrate your success. I want you to think it's December 2026. You have a few minutes away from all the partying and happiness, or maybe you're spending the night alone, to celebrate your amazing year. And think about that and really lean into that sense of celebration. And I want you to think there are no barriers. All your barriers are gone. Whatever may or may not have been influencing you in 2025 or 2024, they're gone. You know now that you're going to be super successful in 2026 based on how you define success. So you're going to be super successful in the new year. Everything's working. The stuff that was hard last year is going to be easier this year. It's just going to be an easy, successful year. And I want you to ask yourself some things. I want you to sit there, your eyes closed. You're sitting in that, in my case, it would be a nice warm fireplace right now. Sitting in front of that warm fireplace and feel what it's like. What does it look like? Really step into your senses, because when we empower our senses, we empower what's going to happen. So what does it feel like? What sounds are you hearing? What are you tasting? And what are you thinking? You're celebrating this awesome year that you've just accomplished. What are you feeling? What are you sensing? For me, it's the crackling of the fireplace. It's the nice taste of the warm cocoa. I'm thinking just like, wow, what a year. How awesome it was to do that. And what does it look like? It's like cozy and warm, and I'm bundled up and just feeling really comfortable and grateful for the year that I have had. And I want you to consider some questions. And you can come back to this and write it down, however works for you. So the first question is, what are you celebrating? What are you celebrating that you accomplished this year? It could be business or personal, but what is this amazing thing that you've accomplished in 2026 that you are celebrating? How do you feel? Right? Do you feel proud? Do you feel humbled? Do you feel excited? How are you feeling? What are you proud of? How much income did you make? What's your days and weeks like? How are you spending your time? Where do you work? Who are your clients? How are you working with them? How are you marketing your business? What ways are you being visible so people can find you? And what are people saying about you? And how is your audience growing? So keep in mind, your financial goal is really important. We are in business to be in business. So having a financial goal is important. Keep in mind your mission for your business, what your business is there for. And I hope for everyone that part of what your business is there for is to empower your life. I think sometimes when we write our missions, they're very external focused. And what is your vision? What is your mission for you yourself, to have yourself, to be in the business that you want to be in? What is your mission for that? How are you making an impact to yourself, to your family, to the customers and clients that you work with? What are your working goals and things that are continuing to move on? And any other cool stuff that comes in mind? What are those cool things that are coming up that you think, oh, I hadn't thought about that. Oh, maybe I would like to do that. Wow, I didn't know that I could do that, and I accomplished that. So let that flow, let the juices run, and just sit in that for a moment and think about, what does it look like? And consider those questions that I asked. And when you're ready, take out a piece of paper and draw a circle and say, my awesome 2026. And if you're familiar with mind mapping, this is a great mind mapping exercise to draw the circle and then put things off to the side that are what you've accomplished, not in the future, not in the past, like put them in the tense, that these are things that you're doing or that you've done. And so, for example, I have one here. So one of the accomplishments, and I really encourage you to put a financial target. It doesn't matter what it is. Like I said, we're all different, but having that financial target is part of what being in business is all about. So in a circle that I'm looking at, that it's over here on my other screen, is this person accomplished $118,000 in her business. She had 4 full mentorship programs. So her prime of her business, and this is a client I've worked with, she had 4 full mentorship programs. And so it was a quarterly program and full mentorship programs. She's working with awesome women who are just amazingly rocking it and having transformations. She's launched her podcast. She's got an email list of over 2,000. She has a VA and a cleaner to get rid of all that stress of maintaining your home. And her work week, and I think this is such an important thing to add to it, 6 hours a day, 4 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon, 4 days a week. That's her work week. And then more things in here, like I'm marketing on YouTube, going live once a week. And there's more. You can add more and more to this, but it's such a great way. If you're not familiar with mind mapping, it's just lines and circles because it lets you dream. And I want you to capture your dreams because this is going to be the foundation of where you go in 2026. Be at the end of it and really think about it and say, okay, this is where I want to be. I want certain things in my business and I want to have certain things, but also I encourage you to look at how you want to feel. Like, really, what do you want to feel? Because I can tell you when you lean into that and you sit in your feelings and you say, like, I'm going to have a business that just feels right, that feels like me. My business is me. It feels like me. I'm doing my things my own way. I'm not trying to be somebody else. And I'm leaning into the success. It's such an empowering thing that creates momentum in your business. And then when you've done this exercise, really, this is going to lead into the exercise and the work that you do in 2026. It doesn't have to be January 1st. It doesn't even have to be February 1st. It just leans in and leans into that is your top 5 success statements. And first, one of them has to be because you are in business. And as much as I believe in doing business your own way, no matter how you do it, there is a financial aspect to being in business. There's a financial responsibility to yourself. You're doing all this work, you're putting all this time in there. And if you're not looking at the financial responsibility to yourself for your business, then you have a hobby. And I don't want you to have a hobby. I want you to have something profitable that you can be really excited by. So knowing what your financial goal is for your business is really important. So think about, what is that financial goal? What does it feel like? How are you doing in that financial goal? And thinking about that. Sorry, I'm trekking around here because I can see something moving on my screen that I don't know what it is. Oh, yeah, this stuff that comes in here with all this technology that's changing. This application has changed. That's okay. We are good. So really think about, what is that financial goal that you want for your business, but also what are the other things that you want? And do the exercise and create your 5 success statements. And so it's about reflecting. You're in 2026, you're sitting by that fire, by that ocean, and really reflect, go back and listen to the questions that I posed to you, and do your success plan. So put out your plan, do the circle, do your mind mapping, and then out of that, see what comes out for you, see what percolates up. And in all of this, be true to yourself. This is not about what you should be doing. This is about what will create the business of your dream. And as I've just said, there is the requirement. I'm trying not to use the word should, but having a financial goal is kind of what business is all about. And if we're not doing that, then we're not in a business. But don't make it 10K a month. That's the only thing I'm going to say, because there's way too many people out there who start off with this 10K a month goal. And I think it becomes meaningless because it's used way too often. So if you need to find an eclectic number that just suits you, go for that. It doesn't matter whether it's 1K or whether it's $2,222, something like that. Make something uniquely you. Maybe you have a lucky number. Don't fall into the trap of what online marketing is and moving you towards some fictitious number that may not be the right number for you. Putting on my more practical hat, knowing what we need to bring in to our basic needs of our company. We all have expenses, and that shouldn't be coming out of some other stream. So covering your basic needs of your company, and then covering your basic needs that you need. And then everything else just grows and flourishes when you think of those and cover those. So what does your 2026 look like? I really encourage you to do this exercise. There's only a matter of hours left. It's December 30th. So halfway through the day here. So there's, a day and a half left before January 1st. You don't have to do this exercise this month. You can do it on Monday. You can do it anytime. It's a great exercise to do anytime, of putting yourself forward, sitting in your energy and thinking, okay, it's December 31st, 2026. What have I accomplished? What have I done? What do I want to do when I sit in that space? And what does it look like? Who do I want to work with? Who do I want to get excited about? What do I want to bring in? And that is such an empowering exercise that will lead into the things that I'm going to be doing in January. And it leads into taking the pressure off of planning. I've seen so many emails go through my inbox, and that was the whole point of this challenge. Reflect, choose, and celebrate. It's about choosing what you want to do and not putting this pressure of having to have the perfect plan. I read an email this morning and it just made me kind of cringe for my industry. And it was saying, if you haven't planned out 2026 by now, then you're just going to end up at the end of 2026 and nothing's going to happen. I thought, wow, Why do we do that to ourselves? And it was a woman who coaches women, which made me even more frustrated. And then I saw the opposite email come into my account this morning, which was an email from someone who's still reflecting back on 2025. She hasn't even jumped into 2026. And she's reflecting through an email series, which is great. And she's showing her successes and things that didn't work so well. And she's being very honest. And I'm intrigued to read the rest of it because it's just where most of us are. And so that's the dichotomy in the way that things happen in the coaching industry. You have the really good one who's just saying, like, support yourself. There's lots of time. We don't have to put on this pressure to be perfect and done by the first day of January. Then the other person who's saying, if you don't, then you're not going to have a successful year, which just to me is crazy to put out to people. And so here's my wish for you is that you take some time, reflect. Really, if you haven't done any of the exercises through this challenge, go back. They're part of the playlist. Sorry. Week one was setting your intentions for the first week of, setting your intentions for December. That one you don't necessarily have to do. But the second week where you really look at and reflect and decide what you're going to keep and what you're not going to keep is a powerful exercise that I do often with clients. Knowing who you want to be, which is week 3, and knowing what motivates you, and then painting the picture of where you want to go. These exercises can be really fundamental for creating their success in 2026. So that is what I wanted to talk about today. Thank you if you're here. Thank you for watching the replay. I'm excited to move into 2026. I just think 2025 has been a hard year for a lot of people, as I said at the beginning, between political changes, between economic changes, between AI coming and being a big disruptor, between other things. It's been a very turbulent year. For some people, extremely successful, for some people challenging, but it has been a kind of a weird year. And so let's move into 2026 with an open eye. AI is going to be there. It's going to be changing. The political stuff isn't going to stabilize. And so it's going to be something that we as business owners need to work our way through. And I think AI is going to be a wonderful opportunity for people, but I also think it needs to be something that we make AI work for us, not us working for AI or adapting AI. And that's a whole new thing that I'm going to be talking about in January. So take care. Have an amazing celebration if you're celebrating the end of the year. If you're doing a quiet New Year's Eve, which is what I think I'm doing. I have options, but I think I'm going for the quiet New Year's Eve. Just take a moment and reflect and really think about where you want to be a year from now, and what amazing opportunities exist for you. So thank you all for doing the challenge. Excuse me, it's not going down. It will be up, and it's actually something you can do any time of the year. Excuse me. Not a good time to choke when you're live. Thank you so much. The link for the challenge is below. I also run something called the Bistro Bite. It's been on a hiatus for a couple of weeks, but we're back on January 5th. It's at 11 a.m. Eastern, and you can come. This is meant to be your bite to kick yourself off at the beginning of every week for women entrepreneurs who want to grow their business and want a little bit of accountability, a little bit of brainstorming, a little bit of community to come together. The link is in the descriptions. I believe it's igniteyourmarket.com/bistrobite or bistro-bite. I don't remember. It's down there. Come and join us. Sometimes you don't have to be there every week. Some people come once in a while, but come and join us and enjoy it. And thank you so much for being here, and have an amazing end of the year and an amazing beginning to 2026.